people can go and set up their bands anywhere on the streets. And so it's like a big celebration for the longest day of the year, countrywide.
Oh, wonderful.
It happens to be my birthday too. So it's like, okay, I'll just pretend like it's my birthday party.
And every entire country is celebrating entire world is actually celebrating your birthday.
I mean, that's a little far, but still, I can pretend that. It's really a nice, creative energy flow, and that's why I love Paris so much.
Oh, wonderful! So I wish you a wonderful journey ahead, a lot of blessings on the path, and a lot more to unfold. So there you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I received that.
So a very exciting topic today. Thank you so much. I want to thank to our audience actually, because we get nice feedbacks from you guys. The topics are very all know. And as we go to this journey, I think today we are about to unfold, I guess, the biggest secret of the pure love and harmony. And that might be, you phrase it properly. So maybe you say what we are talking about.
Our formula?
Yeah. How do we say it?
Well, I mean, for those of you who have been with Sasha a while, you know he has a great articulation and explanation for everything. So I tend to put things like in bullet points, and then he can really expand things. So we're talking about our formula, and like the real quick way we can talk about the formula, pure love and harmony formula, and then we can go in and kind of unpack it and talk about each piece of it more. Mm-hmm. So the formula in short form is proper communication plus proper nutrition plus coat care equals a happy, healthy dog. Mm. Like in its essence, those are the three pillars, if you will, that you build on to have a happy, healthy dog. The one that seems like is the most complicated in terms of what we've been taught and what we kind of need to unlearn and relearn is proper communication with the dog. Mm. Yep. And we talked about it, and we had Alex on as a guest to talk about her new puppy and introducing it to her dog and her household and everything. But there's just layers upon layers of questions about how to properly communicate your dog and understand what your dog is trying to say to you. And there's a lot of information out there that's conflicting with how you teach it. And so I just like real quickly for a minute, I think what might be helpful for people is understand the background of where your philosophy for developing how to understand what a dog is saying to you, and then how you can communicate best to your dog.
Mm. Yeah, so that was like really in the bullet points, because I wouldn't dare explain it in so short and
I know.
So thank you so much.
Than that. I know. But that gives you it's like a starting point for each, like, because communication in and of itself, we can talk about it for so long.
Yeah, but when we talk about a formula, like a pure love and harmony wellness formula, as we named it, because it's very important, like in which order we give attention to these pillars, because I must say, with this particular harmony testing that we do with the coat, right? Often I had that already in our experience, in my experience, is that oftentimes the dogs, when we get the results from tested dogs and all the scientists that are working on those readings, those datas, I got oftentimes the question, is this dog a vegetarian? Because the level of the amino acids and the proteins and everything, the structure within the tissue and the co-testing that we are doing in this essence to dive in deep into a dog's body and see what's going on there, they see as the dog is not eating animal protein at all. And yet on the other side, the dog is eating two pounds of the meat every day. So how that happens, that actually the food we eat, the dog eats, cannot be absorbed and received by the body. So, and I
Yeah.
was always thinking about, like, if I would need to make this formula and how the formula would look like how much of what you need to put in. And then I was like, I was looking to that hierarchy, Maslow hierarchy of needs, right?
Yeah.
He explained it to the humans, but then I was trying to see and learning about this canine communication and how important for the dog is to belong, feel welcomed in the environment, and being understood as a creature of for who the dog is. And just after the dog is relaxed and calm, not in a state of the chronic stress, the body can absorb the nutrition provided.
Right. Yeah.
And just after the dog is calm and trusts the humans, and all the nutritions presented through the food are absorbed with the body, the beauty through the coat can shine and radiate. So the coat care comes as a last point. Where actually to discover this formula, I came the opposite way. Because entire my life, I was grooming dogs.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah.
I was grooming dogs, so I was interested only in the beauty of the dog, and I was showing dogs. For 30 years, I was showing dog, and I was using the formula without actually knowing I'm using it, because my dog has a gorgeous coat and had a gorgeous body and behaved perfectly. But I didn't know actually what I did. It was more likely I wanted to have these results, what I need to do. Okay, let's do this and let's do that, but not without conscious awareness of what gave me those results. But now lately, especially since we start to work so closely with a high world top scientist on this field, we learned about how eliminating the stress in the dog's environment is a fundamental way of bringing the dog, putting the dog on the path of happy, healthy, and long life.
Well, it makes a lot of sense though, Sasha, because that's what I feel like we've learned in humans too, that you can have a perfectly nutritious diet, but if you have a lifestyle that is riddled with stress and an environment that's chaotic, that it's still going to affect your physiology, and then the nutrition, like you said, might not be absorbed, and it doesn't have the impact that you would want it to.
Yeah, that's so simple actually when you understand it, so simple. But and then let me just kind of like put this picture of mine when I was thinking about why did I learn so much about the communication, canine communication and the nutrition, is because when I was showing dogs, those dogs were like $1 million worth show dogs, and the clients were flying me all over the world for the shows, and I was paid to do the job the best possible way. So there is no place for mistake. No one asks you like, how do you feel? Are you tired? No one cares about that. What you need to do is make the dog perform up to their best.
Right.
And then
and look perfect too.
And look for that was what I was really known for. My dogs looks as a little statues. But why they won so much is because they were acting towards me, always wanting to make that charisma that my show dogs had were something that was actually radiating through the space and time and grabbed attention to everyone watching. So why the dogs did that? It's because I had a special relationship with them through the communication. And I said, like, if the dog doesn't like to be shown or he doesn't like to be groomed, he gonna obstruct, like he gonna be upset, he won't stay for me, he won't work for me. I would need to force the dog to do some things. And oftentimes we would force the dogs to do and to behave by actually creating a lot of stress on them in order to bring them in the state of freeze. So like a child. Yeah. And again, we are coming back to what we talked about 10 episodes in a row. And then slowly, if the dog if the dog is not proper nutritioned and if it's not proper communicated with, there is no code. I can have all the knowledge and technique in the world, but if my dog doesn't like to be groomed and it doesn't have a nutritional supplementation of the body that creates a beautiful coat, I can be the best stylist in the world. I won't be able to make a dog look nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then with this slowly awareness about when I started to create Pure Love and Harmony back in Fairfield, this when we met actually, we offered to this little Fairfield community a beautiful spa that was actually focusing on all three pillars of this. But I just didn't have it as much as clear in my mind of what comes first and how. So it's not only a communication with the dog. It's not the training of the dog. It's not obedience of the dog. Your dog is not in a perfect state if it's not in a state of proper communication with the owner or the doggy parent. That's very important. And only when the dog is calm, but not calm out from pressure, an obedient way of calmness, but calm by choice, calm by conscious decision of conscious feeling. No.
Yeah, it's peace. I think there's a
there
difference.
You go.
Like,
but it's very important that peace that the dog feel is a choice.
Yeah,
so he feel yes
within them.
Because he feel he belongs to a family. He's a part of the family at the right place, not on the pedestal like a king, not as a peasant in some little piece of the property locked somewhere in the garage. No, on the feet of the master. And we can call them like a last little, if you draw the pyramid or structure of the family, the dogs are always in the below corners, and that's where they feel the best. That's where they serve the best, and that's where they give us a possibility to learn how to serve the best without expectations, without projections, and without making this world look like I know what's best for you. And in that, when I know what's best for you, I kind of like I kill you in that process, right? I strangle you in that process, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think well, I feel like it still comes back to understanding how to really be a proper leader.
It does.
Like how to lead ourselves. And if we know how to really lead ourselves, then we know how to lead our dogs.
True.
A lot of people, we do not know how to lead ourselves, like self-leadership. So we don't know how to lead other people, and certainly not our dogs. We go default back to obedience training, things we've been taught, which is kind of like
we are obedient trained.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I was like, it sounds like that's what we do to each other. Like church just kind of does that. Sometimes religion, I should say, I guess, not church. And then like some societal expectations. And so we become obedient to these things, and then we suppress ourselves. And that's what we end up doing with our dog if we don't learn how to communicate and lead them correctly too.
Yes. And then no matter, you can feed them gold, the most expensive food on the planet. If the communication channel doesn't get a chance for those hormones to be really, because let me finish the sentence, for those hormones to be released, and the hormones are, guided by the glands with the internal extraction, or how you say, it's not extraction, how you say that? Secretion, right? And we know that when we learn about how the dog become a dog from the wolf, and then we have that very important evolutionary experiment that was performed by Dr. Belyaev on the silver foxes. And when he did analysis of the body of the foxes, he said, why these are so domesticated? Why these are so tame and the other ones are so aggressive? What's happening there? And when he did a blood analysis, and he analyzed the hormonal structure of those animals, what he find is that the one that were aggressive and afraid of the humans had a high level of adrenaline and a high level of cortisol. And the others, the cortisol is stress hormone, and we have it. Cortisol is there if the adrenaline keeps pumping out all the time.
Right.
And that's a chronic stress, right? The cortisol is a hormone of the chronic stress. But then on the other side, if the adrenaline moves away, like a survival hormone, right? If that moves away because of the circumstances are like that, Now I need to get closer to a humans. If the adrenaline moves away, then all the other hormones are able to show their expressions.
Right, exactly.
So if the adrenaline is high, if the dogs are in a state of freeze or fight or flight mode, then all the other hormones that actually should help digestion won't be there, because it's not important to digest the food, it's important to survive.
Right. Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
And then that brings us higher on the scale, higher on the ladder. So now we have a proper communication. If that's in place, then the nutrition makes sense. And if the nutrition makes sense, then the communication and nutrition give a rise to the beautiful code. Then you can do whatever you want with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you said that beauty radiates from within, but from within on every level. Yeah. That's transcending the beauty from the level of the source. And where the source of the beauty is in peace. And you can have a peace if you are surrounded with the stress. And what creates a stress in the human-dog relationship, it's a communication, it's a training, it's a behavior challenge, it's a behavior modification. I don't want to be modified by no one.
Yeah.
I don't want to modify anyone, right? And why would we modify any behavior if we can bring the dogs to a point of willingly behave properly in a way of acceptance provide us with a behavior that's acceptance and very pleasant to us, as a way of their communication response to our communication environment that we create with our behavior and proper interaction with the dogs. And it's so simple, it's so easy, and it's so wonderful. So we came up to make this Pure Love and Harmony wellness formula that's actually have everything in place exactly on the right place. That's why we start with the communication. From the communication, we'll build in the nutrition. From the nutrition, we build in the beauty. And that's so easy and so simple and so wonderful.
It really is. And also, we have a lot of not correct information out there that we've been taught. So I think that the real important thing with the formula is the awareness of what we're operating from right now, so we can equip ourselves with the right information of, really how to communicate, so we're not repeating these kind of cycles with our animals, with the dogs.
That's very important, because the world around us, the mainstream world of the behavior, nutrition, and the grooming, because that's how those industries are called. Like, it's a behavior and training, right? Nutrition, okay, like a food and nutrition, right? That's okay. And then you have a grooming, like an industry, and those three industries are actually separated, right? The trainers have their own things, the nutritionists have their own things, the groomers have their own things, and then the clients tend to go all over the place. And usually the informations that they are provided, they are cross matching each other. They don't match, actually, right? Mm-hmm. And then what I started to create in Fairfield, like back with Vedran, that was like 2021. No, it was earlier, 19. We met 21, but we started to work on that like much earlier. Yeah. So that little shop in Fairfield, salon, that was the outcome of our brainstorming on how should we put these three things together. And it's not easy. It's not easy to communicate. And that, I think, that will be a very big mission of the Pure Love and Harmony, to put this in use, because people now, if you say, oh, I'm certified behaviorist, or I'm certified trainer, or whatever you got the certification from, keeps you in this matrix that keeps producing a same outcome that we want to get rid of. Certified nutritionists, you need to have this, and you need to feed your dog with this. I can feed my dog with whatever I want. I can supplement them and over supplement them. For example, there is a very interesting thing. That symptom, very simple symptom to look at. The plaque. Is that how you call it? Not plaque. How you call canines?
Potter.
No, what you get on what the dogs have on their teeth, like plaque that need to be tartar, right? Is that what we need to be removing with a tartar?
Yeah.
Plaque. Okay. Both, but what do we remove? What makes those calcification? How do you call them when it's dirty and calcified? Tart?
They just call it plaque, whatever.
Plaque. Okay, there you go. Plaque. I'm sorry. So let's come to there. I was like, we had another meeting with this scientist team like a couple of days ago, bringing in this topic of, because we wanted to develop an amazing product for the plaque removal, right? And then in order to remove something, we need to know how that something it's got created, where is the essence of its creation, right? So what happens is that the plaque becomes calcification of the calcification and the mineralization of the very natural layer of the plaque that should be there on the teeth, but it's not. It shouldn't be over plaque. Like it shouldn't be calcified. It shouldn't be mineralized, right? Okay. And then where the calcification and over mineralization comes from the excessive calcium in the dog's body. Where the excessive calcium in the dog's body comes from, by having a thyroid not functioning properly. What leads to the thyroid not functioning properly and then having this disbalance in the relationship of how the metabolism of the calcium to the magnesium or the calcium to the potassium is happening in the dog's body is because the thyroid glands getting shut off. Why the thyroid glands is shutting off? Because of the chronic stress. So it's kind of, we can remove the plaque because it's overextended, it's there, it's calcified, it's need to be removed because it's creating a mess and the bad breath because of the bacteria and everything that gets stuck there. So we can treat the symptoms and the symptoms will keep coming. We're gonna learn, that's because the dog is not eating the bones, so can't rub it. We are feeding the dog with the food that they don't chew, or whatever the reason we find on a logical way. The question becomes like, why this mineralization happens on the first end? Because it's not normal. The mineralization happens because of the excessive calcium in the saliva. Yeah. Where that comes from? From the bad metabolism of the calcium. Who controls the metabolism of calcium? Thyroid. Why the thyroid is affected? Because of the stress. Oh my God, my dog has a plaque. He lives in the stress environment. So you can brush his teeth, but until you do not remove the stress, that's only, there is no magic pill for that. Removing the stress means starting communicating with your dog properly. And this, the formula comes again back to the foundation. Communication.
Yes, the foundation is the communication, because without that, then what you do with the nutrition is not going to be as effective.
Yeah, there you go. It's not going to be. I got a question on the dogs that are eating 2 pounds of meat a day. Are they vegetarian? Because that meat just comes in and goes out. That's it. Mm-hmm. Nothing happens. And especially if the dogs are eating not the organ meat, but they are eating like steaks and the beautiful, healthy, human-grade meat. What's actually having a very complicated digestion process in order to take them down into amino acids that are actually usable to the dog food, to the dog's body. But because those chains of the proteins are very complicated to bring down, and the digestion lasts forever. And if the dog's body is just not producing enough hormones for that to happen, that meat just comes in and goes out. And then you have a dog that looks like eating meat, 2 pounds of meat a day. The outcome of that body after digestion is a vegetarian-like body of the carnivore. And then on the other side, when you look where the root cause of that is in a chronic stress.
Yeah, and I still think that's where it goes back to. I mean, we could do a whole science episode on the nutrition piece, the nutrition part of the formula, just because, I mean, we're just talking about all that. It's fascinating. And I think it really resonates what I feel like I've even learned on my own personal journey and what a lot of my friends, you know, in the stress environment that you're in and like your work, how it breaks down your health. It doesn't matter then if you can work out or try to eat right and do all the things, but if you're constantly in an environment that is not healthy, it's almost like nothing you're doing outside of that can keep up with what's happening there. So that is the first place to really look at for your overall health, for yourself and for your dog.
Yeah.
And if we don't know how to communicate with them, though, I mean, I think that gets back to the heart of the issue is we can mean really well for our dog, but if we don't understand their behavior is how they communicate with us, then we miss a lot of the signals, signs, and things that are going on with them that would help us better take care of them if we would invest the time in ourselves to learn that.
Yeah, because no dog should go to the training school. No dog should go to any obedience school. Who need to go to your school is a owner, the doggy mom, to learn the canine language. That's it. That's the only thing we need. You don't need to take time to bring the dogs to any. I love you all who train the dogs, but I think the time of obedient training is past, gone. Like we are overgoing that. We are thinking now about dogs as a conscious being that are able to provide love and sacrifice for us in their service to us, and they're going to do it anyhow. What we need to do is pay back with the love and respect to the species and the way they are able to interact with us the best possible way. So who need to go to the school is a doggy mom. Yeah. We need to go. The doggy parents need to go to the school to learn the canine language, the language of their babies, and that's it. And then when you come home,
parents do that for their kids. So it's like, and dogs are such a valued part of our family that it's time to invest in that too.
Because the kids are raised in a family, and the language comes like an outcome of conditioning, the cultural conditioning, right? But the dogs are not able to do that because they will not be able to learn English or German or Serbian or whatever other language, French. We need to learn a canine language. And it's very simple because it's a very natural language, even for the humans, because leads us back to a pack structure of the family. Pack survival of the family, the group survival of the family. It's so easy. It's very natural to us. And now, we are in the time when we need to redefine the roles and redefine the how you call that, the terms and things like that. But the fundamental structure of the human family is like that for centuries, and it will remain till the end of the time. It's the same. And that's where we are. That's why we were able to create such a strong bond with the dogs, because of the structure of the family, that's a fundamental group in the consciousness of the group survival. And that's where the belonging starts from.
How do people get hooked up with this though then? Because it's so important. Like, how do they start learning? I know my friends that have dogs, like anytime I mention any of this, they're like, wow, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. But then they're like, well, how do I do it differently then? Like I had another friend that he has a bulldog and he's a puppy and he's jumping and pulling on the leash and he's like, and I'm like, I know because of the conversations you and I've had, I'm like, there's something going on here. Like you need to talk to Sasha. But how? Like, what is the best way for people to get plugged in to start learning canine communication?
So the easiest way would be, we're gonna now start doing these webinars talking about the canine communication, exposing the canine language to the broader audience. But if you suffer anything like now that you want to learn about, like, and fix the problem that you have by getting yourself in a school, like we do provide a consultation, and every one of you is very welcome to contact us through the email, like sasha@sasharies.com, right? SASHARIESS, like .com.
Well, do that because go ahead.
or you can like find a little more on the sasharies.com or pureloveandharmony.com web pages to learn about this and to kind of find a way to schedule either
like
private. Sorry?
like, yeah, like definitely reach out, DM
Yeah,
on
DM.
Instagram, Facebook.
Anytime we are very, very
we're
reachable, like
we're going to put
email.
together a research. We're going to put together like a beta program. And if you are watching us and you have an issue with your dog or you have questions, send us your questions and we'll try to answer them here so we can kind of get the ball rolling with everybody understanding as much as we can, or like how they can learn this new type of communication or become aware of it, and then get plugged in with the beta program we're going to do with the doggy moms and doggy dads. There's going to be more information coming from that. But if you're interested in that, email or DM us and just let us know you're interested. And then we can send you a form to find out a little bit more about what's going on with you and your dog and see if you're a good fit for that program. And then the academy is going to launch soon, right? Where, I mean, you can do a consultation now.
Yeah.
Always do the consultation. You can always do that.
Yeah, the consultation, either emotional detachment to attach properly, right? The order of harmony, that's available, and we are like really busy doing those programs. Like I really enjoy doing them, and that's kind of part of the family constellation.
Oh my gosh, can I just tell everybody how helpful they are, Sasha?
Yes, please.
I did that with Sasha, and oh my gosh, it was so insightful and so helpful for me personally, beyond even with my dog. So like it helped me understand her, it helped me understand me, it helped me understand the whole like construct of what's going on in my family. It was super helpful. It didn't take long, very easy, and very insightful.
Yeah, very powerful and emotional. That's why it kind of takes us, because that's what's very important, to find an energy glitch, and what actually becomes like as I said, like every secret becomes a destiny of the family.
Yeah.
And until its secret is not revealed, the destiny gonna keep circling, right? Like a wheel, over and over and over. And then who suffers down that road? The kids and the dogs.
And the dogs.
The kids and the dogs, because the kids are taking the burden of their parents and trying to save them in the same manner as the dogs are trying to save the masters. So that's why it's so important for every one of us that has a family, that has children, that has dogs. Every single time when you see the circles of the repetition keeps like rolling us around, we need to dive into a family consciousness. And there are the tools through the family consciousness therapy to reach that destinations. And I myself, on the journey of learning the family constellation therapy and providing it as myself since 2015. So that's a long journey of discovery. And it was so natural for me, because it was just so natural for me to just understand consciously like what I was aware entire my life by getting dogs in my life, by seeing other people living with the dogs and how the dogs take over the things from the humans, from their family and the humans. And then you see the dogs slowly, deteriorate, how you say that? Like,
deteriorate.
Yes. And that's exactly sometimes what the kids would do. And sometimes better dogs than the kids. But often
so much of us are unlearning generational, trauma or things that were passed down in our families, only because our parents are human. If they didn't work through their things, there's no way for them not to pass it down to us.
Yeah. Someone need to do the homework.
Yeah.
And
so
if we don't do it.
Right. We get to decide, do we want to keep passing that on, or do we want to let it stop with us and create something different? And we do that in our own lives, but we do that then for our children and for our dogs.
Yes. And that's what makes doggy parenting in this millennial generation very important. Because if you would learn how to be a proper doggy parent, right? To see your furry child with the eyes of who they really are, right? Who they really are. Like, they are the dogs that have their own needs, their own dynamics, and their own perception of the world, and their own understanding through their prism of consciousness, their place in this world. And if
Right.
we would be able to learn from that, to observe the dog, to give them what they really need, regardless what we think they need, that
Right.
would set them up for the parenthood of the new age, because
Right.
that will help them understand, for the new parents that don't have a baby, like a human babies yet, this learning experience from the being a proper doggy parent can give you tools to raise the child perfectly,
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah. It just comes into that consciousness.
With not that kind of like overprotectiveness and over worrying that actually puts all the burden on the ones that we worry about.
Yeah.
Because they do have strength, they do are, you know, creatures of the universe and the God, call it whatever you want. They came to this world with their own uniqueness, and the only way to build on that uniqueness, we need to be in support on that uniqueness, not to as they did it to us, not to compress it and not to make it obey to any rules, not to fit in any box, or being just to be good and to get good grades and to be proud and whatever. No, the love is there for my children, either they are president or the homeless people by the choice of their doings in their life. I'm there for them and I love them, and that their presidency or the homelessness will never take away a love that I have for them, and they need to be sure and always ensured that that's there. And then what they're going to do from that life, it's just on them. And that's what we need to learn, because whatever happened, we can say there is nothing can be undone on that way. Everything is as is. Everything happened as is, and we can do that. But what's going to happen tomorrow, that's exactly only depends on me. Which kind of life I'm going to live from tomorrow, it's only on me.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it's encouraging to all the generation of the people that are choosing dogs instead of children, because they don't want to raise the children as they were raised. And that's completely legit decisions. How can I say, interesting.
Well, but you can choose, you can.
What do you say? Okay, you need to talk a little bit. He said I should let you talk.
I was going to say, like, you can, I mean, just like what you're saying, though, we get to choose how we want to do it. If we don't like how we were raised, we can choose to raise our kids a different way. But that requires us learning some new things and unlearning some things and being willing to look at ourselves and, you know, call ourselves out in a loving, compassionate way. Like that, you know, we take in things and do things a lot of times because that's what we were taught. But if we don't like the patterns we're seeing in our lives, or we don't like the results of the evidence that's showing up, then we get to look at that and make different choices and heal things, choose different things, change things. And I think that, like, as it comes back to dogs, it's so much that same type of thing, where if we're willing and committed to raise our consciousness of ourself as humans, like, that spills over into everything, into our lives. So we're going to have better relationships, we're going to have better friendships, we're going to have better health, and then we're going to be able to provide that to our dogs too.
Yeah, and that's and
but
then
it requires the learning. It requires the unlearning and the learning, and that's what I think is so great about Pure Love and Harmony, is it provides that awareness. If for the doggy parents that are willing and want to do it differently and wake up to, like, oh, this obedience training, it's getting my dog to not do this or do this, but they're not really happy. It's going to affect their health, and it's going to affect possibly how long they live.
Yeah, that's all connected.
But if I can take the time to learn how to do things differently, I mean, seriously, Sasha, though, this is so much going to help. It helps people with their own journey too. This like your dog might end up bringing you here.
Yeah.
But you get to grow so much through learning how to be a better conscious doggy parent, because it really is all just about awareness. And if you think about a dog being a conscious being, then you don't want to treat, I mean, I think the world a lot of ways is waking up to that, where they don't want to see animals
Suffer.
and things like that. Like everything, every form of life, even our planet, is to be valued and respected and honored. And then the relationship we have with it benefits everybody. Like us treating the earth better gives the earth a better way to like run itself, right? Because it like nature is amazing and does its own thing. If we're doing things to hurt it, that also hurts us. But if we do things to help it, nature helps us. And like it's just this beautiful universal law of reciprocity. And I think dogs fit so into that, because dogs have this beautiful way that they want to have us as their master. And if we can learn how to honor that in them, we get a more beautiful, loyal companion, but we also get that that piece of knowing that they're living a fulfilled, happy, healthy existence. I mean, everybody wins in it, because that is the universal law of reciprocity. Like when we give that goodness comes back. But it doesn't just come. We need to evolve, and we need to take that responsibility to learn and work on those things in ourselves. But the payoff is, we get that. I mean, more than what we can even like grasp. We get that like back tenfold, but in ways we're not even able to conceive.
You said that wonderfully on the beginning of this chat or episode, where you said like we get to learn about this self-leadership through leading our life the way we want, but as every single who am I become the answer to the question who am I, where do I come from, and where I'm supposed to go, are coming from things that we can answer much easier. Who I'm not, where do I not come from, and where do I not want to go? And that's unlearning, or who I'm not. It's, our journey, it's starts from unlearning who we thought we were.
Yeah, or who we were told we are.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Thank you. So that becomes a self-leader mastery through this program, by becoming someone that's able to open the eyes to the dog and to see the dog as a doggy baby, as someone that do need a parent, that doesn't have an evolved parent anymore. Now it's a human parent. And this interspecies, the first thing we need to do is to take those glasses of humanizing the dog, and I know what's best for them because it's good for me. No, it's not going that way, because that's the same thing that your mom told you, that you need to eat carrot because she loved them, and because her mom told her if she eats carrot with the ice, everything gonna be good.
Yeah.
So now we don't want to force that, because that's actually formula for disaster.
Right.
And
because
we are the proof. I'm the proof of that.
Yeah,
myself.
It's true. It's because it's really selfish and unaware to think that just because I like this, you will like this too. Or just because I think this is a good decision, that you need to make that decision too.
True, yes.
Because even it's not true. Even the children that comes into our lives are not ours. They're a separate soul with a separate DNA, like of what they're going to become and a destiny and everything. And our dogs are dogs, so they have a different way they communicate and navigate things. And we get, if we're good, but we're going to spend a relationship with them, we need to learn how to do that.
Yes, and that's the first thing we need to do. And as of so far, like it's only me. It's only at the Pure Love and Harmony where you can get these informations, because there is no out there the place that teaches it the way that how to turn this unlearning to a learning process of the modern doggy parenting. Without anything, am I too liberal, or when I'm talking about the doggy parenting? And I know that a lot of people will, especially from the dog world and the dog professional world, are always criticizing me for using this language. But I think like if we come down to the level of the feeling and respect of the other people's feelings, it's exactly how they feel, doggy parents. And we need to teach doggy parents their doggy babies language. And the other places gonna teach you, and not that I have anything against other places. I'm just telling that at this place, at Pure Love and Harmony, we open the new layer of understanding the dog human relationship. And it's nothing to do with the obedience, it's nothing to do with the training, it's nothing to do with the correcting anything. Is about to create an environment in which the doggy babies choose willingly to communicate with us in accepted way of behaving. In order to come that, we need to be very strict and precise in a way of communicating what we want. But that's also, if I'm able to communicate precisely with my dog, so the response I get from him is precise the way I want him to behave, and I accept behavior in the home.
It's different though. Like, I think it goes back to the root, Sasha. It's like a different thing. It's not just communicating. It's understanding that there's something at the root of a behavior. So it's like you can take addiction, right? Like smoking, drinking, overeating, anything that we do to avoid dealing with a feeling, a something, a pain, whatever. There's at the core, but you can stop the behavior. You can tell someone, go to Weight Watchers, only eat this many calories, blah, blah, blah. And they can do it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, wonderful. You said wonderfully that.
It's behavior modification. It's not getting to the root of why are they wanting to eat so much in the first place, or why are they wanting to eat unhealthy food, or why are they waiting to eat, all these things. Like there's a why behind those things that really understand that as a person. And then when you get to that baseline, whatever that hurt is, that belief is, that underpinning thing is, then all of a sudden it changes and the food is not the issue.
Yeah.
It's a symptom of the issue. And I think that's what you're saying with the dog. It's like understanding that if we just do, it's not saying it's bad, because everybody needs to behave a certain way. We can't all like run chaotically in the world and it's going to work. But it's treating people with like that respect and love and trust. You can operate a different way to get behavior from each other that's not forced behavior by fear or suppression. It's love and respect and honor. But that's like at the root of like a dog's misbehavior. There's something at the root of that. And when we try to do it just by modifying the behavior, it can work to get a outcome, but it's not really treating the dog with that same love and respect. And so it's affecting the happiness at their core and their well-being. So like it's understanding that the communication goes deeper than just communication. It's a kind of a way of being with the dog.
Yeah, but that's actually perfectly said, as you always, paint it so nicely that I see my own words in the different pictures. So thank you so much for that as well. But the entire point of why I wanted to say this was, if we will be able to learn this to do with the dogs, then we will be that's a new habit, that's a new character, that's a new me who sees my dog in the way the dog wants and is to be seen. But then that helps me see you and see my wife and see my husband and see my mom and see my child and see the president and see the ones that I don't like, and everyone the way they are, and to give respect and love. And then can you imagine the world we would live in if this would be like
Absolutely. I mean, that's where the harmony, like we would be in pure harmony then.
We would be in pure love and harmony, living with each other. And the dogs can be a great catalyst for that.
Great catalyst for that. I think that's a good place for us to kind of like wrap up today and keep talking about this, though, because I think this, especially communication being the foundation of the hierarchy, of the formula, there's more to talk about it. And I still would encourage people to do a consultation, because it's like going to therapy is so good for you to get awareness for yourself and have a safe space to like sort through the things in your life that you're just not sure about, or maybe something's not working and you have a place to go, like have somebody else have a viewpoint of you in your life, be a mirror, that you can have a place like this to go with your dog and go like, he's doing this or she's doing this and I don't know what that means. I would give anything to go back and do that. Have met you earlier with Izzy and understood what she was trying to tell me. I can't regret it. I got to learn from it, but the insight, that's why I'm so passionate about this, I think too. Like I understand it better. And if you have a dog and you can get this information now, it just will deepen and enrich everything so much. And you have more confidence that you're doing everything you can. And it, like it's a win-win though, because her behavior really was trying to tell me things.
Yep.
Both what I needed and what she needed. I just didn't understand the language, you know? So to have this, I mean, that's why I want to say, like, so I want more people to learn about this, because I think it will lead to more harmonious relationships all the way around, which translates into a harmonious world. Yeah.
There you go. Great place to stop, and to a lot of food for thoughts. We were happy to reveal with you fundamentals of the Pure Love and Harmony Wellness formula that leads to a happy and healthy dog that's actually founded in a proper communication, through the proper nutrition, in the wonderful expression and beauty. And it's the only way, and you can't do it other way around. I tried all
tried all the tricks, all the hacks.
And this is how actually it should be done. And now I'm happy that actually I get it to the point where it becomes a very very actually formula, if I can say so. And then from there you can take it, and we are very welcome and seeing you in any of our upcoming podcasts, or DM us or text us, comment, or write me an email to schedule a private consultation on the canine communication if you have any behavioral issues, or do you want to dive into emotional entanglements through the Order of Harmony. All of those possibilities that you can purchase now, you can find on the webpage Pure Love and Harmony. And like I'm happy to see you on the other side, in the backstage, in the back end of this podcast, in the very private and safe environment that I'll really give all of my passion and knowledge in service to you and your dogs.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Until next time, you have a wonderful time in Paris, please. Any croissant and cappuccino for us too, please?
I will.
I'll dedicate one for us.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much once again, and then see you next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
Au revoir.